Hey everybody, the Johnny Cage here, and I am back with another movie review. I just got back tonight from seeing The Man with the Iron Fist, and well, what can I say about this movie? Let's say what IMDb has to say about this movie first. It says in its small synopsis of it, on the hunt for a fabled treasure of gold, a band of warriors, assassins, and a brogue British soldier descend upon a village in feudal China where a humble blacksmith looks to defend himself and his fellow villagers. Alright, well, right away, I have two problems with that synopsis. One being about this fabled treasure of gold, and another being about him defending his villagers. But let's get to the cast, shall we? If you're not too familiar with this movie, I guess I'll tell you it's a throwback to like 1970s kung fu movies. A little bit of over-the-topness to it, of course, and I guess there's some hip-hop influence because our good buddy Raza, who I think that's how you say his name, it's just spelled R-Z-A, he's a member of the Wu-Tang Clan, too, if you're not familiar with him, as I certainly wasn't. He plays the blacksmith, or the man with the iron fist in this case, and he is just... Why the hell is he in this movie? Holy shit, man, he does not do anything. He's a terrible, terrible actor. He just helped to co-write this and threw himself in there, but he is just so very unnecessary. The movie should really take place with this guy called Xin Yi, whom I'll get to in a second. But let's see, some other notable people. We have Russell Crowe as a character named Jackknife, who's the rogue British soldier they were talking about, and he's really kind of a badass. He's actually in the movie for quite a while. You wouldn't think that because he's such a well-known star, and it's really funny because his weapon is a pistol gunblade, like Final Fantasy VIII style. It's just ridiculous, but it fits perfectly with the movie, though. Lucy Liu plays a chick named Madame Blossom. She's a chick who runs a brothel, where most of this movie takes place at. No nudity in the entire movie, surprisingly, even though most of it takes place at a brothel. But no, okay, whatever. Her character's a lot like her character in Kill Bill. That's really all you can say about it. The only other real notable character I can think of mentioning is Byron Mann. Now, if you're wondering who that is, this is the guy. This is the guy who played Ryu in the live-action Street Fighter movie with Jean-Claude Van Damme back in the day. And he actually plays a really major role, although I can't say his acting has really improved in the past, 16 years or so. But, oh well. Oh, and one other character, Dave Bautista. If you've watched professional wrestling in the last 10 years, he used to be Batista on the WWE. He was world champion at one point. He plays a guy named Brass Body, who can make his body all brass and, super strong. So anyhow, getting to the story of this, it takes place with the Lion Clan. They're supposed to be protecting this gold that's coming through their village, which is known as Jungle Village, which is why I wonder why the description says that it's a fabled treasure of gold when everyone's aware that it's making its way from... I think because it's in the Dynasty era, it's just making its way from one town to another. So I think that's why this gold is on the move, but everyone wants it, of course, because it's a ton of gold, which makes sense, And this is a movie where you should just check your brain at the door anyway, so if you're thinking too hard about it, just stop. Just stop and watch the action. So what happens is Gold Lion, who's the leader of the Lion group, he gets betrayed by his two generals, Silver Lion, who's the guy who's Ryu from Street Fighter, and Bronze Lion, who's just this vicious, guy. And so this other dude, who's Gold Lion's son, is somewhere far away, gets news that his father's been killed. They say it's from this other clan called the Hyena Clan, and there's a bunch of clans, too, by the way, named after different animals and, fighting techniques. Throwback to the 70s Kung Fu type movies. So he's, going to, I guess just, see what the issue is, or just go, meet up with his clan and kind of, take over the clan, sort of. But, Silver Lion, or Ryu, let's just call him Ryu. So Ryu wants to take over the clan, though, for himself, and instead of protecting the gold, he wants to take the gold and have it. So they want to stop this guy, Xin Yi, who's Gold Lion's son, from getting back to the Jungle Village and, claiming the throne, I suppose, as his own, or messing anything up in general. So they hire an assassin, that being Dave Bautista, Brass Body, to go out and get him because Xin Yi's like special ability, I guess, because this is a bit ridiculous. He's got a suit of armor that has spikes that can kind of like shoot out of it everywhere, and he does a lot of like throwing of knives and daggers and stuff. So Brass Body seems like the perfect guy against him because you can't really penetrate his brass body. Anyhow, so he has like a scuffle with him. The gold arrives, and this is weird because the gold arrives and it's only being protected by what's called the Gemini clan, but it's only two people. It's just a brother and a sister, and they do like acrobatic tag team moves together because that Gemini, get it? Like their two swords combine into like a yin yang sword kind of. Yeah, so anyhow, they're taken care of by Ryu and his street fighting clan. Because this is what I'm going to call them now. It's kind of ridiculous, but it's supposed to be. Meanwhile, you have Raza, who's like the town blacksmith. He's making weapons for people. I forget what happens exactly to lead up to his demise, but the Lion clan captures him, and they cut off his arms. And then he later on he runs into Russell Crowe, and they kind of like fix him up, get him back up to health, and then they attach iron fists to him, and he becomes dun 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 the man with the iron fists. Although that's really late into the movie actually. The whole idea is just to bring down this Lion clan, and just restore order. And, you'll find out that all the girls that work at the brothel, they're a secret clan in and of themselves. And everything kind of just escalates to this big fight, And just like the last half an hour of the movie, just like everyone going at it. I really love Russell Crowe. I can't speak highly of him enough here, because this is a movie that he should not be in. He should be doing really good movies. Like I saw a preview for Les Miserables before this movie started, and he's in that. That's the kind of stuff Russell Crowe should be in. He should not be in this. It just doesn't make sense. But he does a great job, and he's in it for quite a bit. He's kind of like a cowboy too. He's going around and like sleeping with all the girls and drinking lots of alcohol. He's a great character. He had lots of fun with the role, and you can really tell. So you got to appreciate that in the movie. But it ends with one of those classic, like 3 different fights going on at once. You've got a Lucy Liu's character fighting Bronze Lion. They end up killing each other. Spoilers, they end up killing each other pretty much at the same time. Let's see, who else is fighting? Raza is, or the blacksmith, the man with the iron fist, ends up fighting Batista. I'm going to call him Batista, because I did watch him for a little bit when he was in wrestling, or Brass Body. They end up fighting because Brass Body ended up killing his girlfriend, and throughout the movie, the blacksmith has been trying to save up money his girlfriend's a prostitute at the brothel, so they're trying to get enough money to kind of like buy herself out of there and be able for them to be free. But he kills her, so then Man with Iron Fist versus Brass Body at the end, and then you have Xin Yi, who's been the guy with like the spiky armor that I was talking about. He ends up fighting Ryu from Street Fighter in a room full of mirrors, no less. Real throwback to Enter the Dragon with Bruce Lee. But none of them are super exciting fights. You find out more about why there's a black guy that's a blacksmith in like medieval China, because apparently he was a slave, and he got out. Actually, like a slave owner set him free, and he got on a boat that was headed, I don't know where it was headed, maybe it was headed to China, but it crashed, and he got picked up by a bunch of monks, and they taught him all about chi and chakra, and just like, the teachings and how to fight and do stuff. And I guess he had a background already in being a blacksmith, so that's kind of how he got there. So it's not like completely out of place for there to be a black guy in the middle of, medieval China, although it still certainly is. But, other than that, this movie does have a lot of downfalls. Most of the acting, except for Russell Crowe, is bad. Very bad. Lucy Liu is not in it all that much, and then she's just Lucy Liu. She's not bad. She's not super great necessarily, though, either. Her character is, like I said, a lot like her character from Kill Bill. But, Russell Crowe's the only thing, like, redeeming quality in this movie. The fighting, the action scenes aren't bad, although when there is gore, and I expected there to be, it's all in CGI. It's not and it's not a very extensive amount either. There's only one part where Russell Crowe like rips this guy up and like shoves his gun blade into like a guy's stomach and just cuts him up to like the middle of his chest and like nearly cuts the guy in half, and that's probably the most gruesome thing you see. But otherwise, the hip hop music thrown in during the fight scenes, I don't enjoy hip hop, but I don't have anything against it. But when you try to incorporate it into a film like this, it just falls flat. It's distracting. It just doesn't work. So that's a problem. I mean, that's really all I can say about it. That is the movie in a nutshell. It's only like 90 minutes long, 95 minutes long. And, to rate it, it's kind of hard to give this movie a rating just because it's not a good movie. Well, it's not a great movie, and it's not even a good movie in all that many respects. But it's entertaining, and that's what I knew it would be. Even though I was only able to see a later night showing of this, and I had to go to the more expensive theater because my more local, cheaper theater wasn't even showing this movie, so I had to pay like $10.50 to see this movie. And this is, definitely not one of the best movies I've seen this year. Although it's still better than the remake of Total Recall, that's for sure. But anyhow, so yeah, I would say if I had to give this movie a rating, I'd give it about a 6 out of 10. It's pretty much what you expect it to be. And another thing, it's presented by Quentin Tarantino. Now, I haven't seen anything presented by anyone probably since Quentin Tarantino presented From Dusk Till Dawn, where him and George Clooney are fighting a bunch of vampire strippers, which is... Man, George Clooney's gone really far since then. But I think he's just the executive producer of this movie, is his official title. So if you come into this thinking it's going to be a Tarantino film, by any means, it's not. It's not at all. So do not get your hopes up for that. But I'd still give it a 6 out of 10. I wouldn't say spend your money going to see it in a movie theater, but if you see it on Netflix for cheap, or if you see it, if you see it anywhere for cheap or for free, maybe like 6 months down the road on like HBO or some other premium channel of that sort, give it a watch, especially if you have the time to kill and just want to watch something entertaining, because that's what this movie is good for. So, or if you just want to see how Ryu's acting has improved from Street Fighter to this. I don't know. I thought that was fun though, because I knew he was going to be in it, and then he ends up being a pretty main character, so that was just funny. But anyhow, guys, that's going to be my review for The Man with Iron Fists. Next week, I've got Skyfall, the new James Bond movie, and why can't I remember? Lincoln with Daniel Day-Lewis and directed by Steven Spielberg. So we go from very, ridiculous movies this week to generally more serious movies next week. I've been hearing great things about the new James Bond, and it looks a bit darker. So we'll see how that turns out. And Lincoln, that Daniel Day-Lewis is an amazing actor. But we'll worry about those next week, guys. Thanks a lot for listening. This has been the Johnny Cage. Please subscribe, like, and comment if you have not. I'll talk to all of you awesome people tomorrow.